Our speaker, she's here. Is our speaker here? She is here?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, Learning Space Foundation. She is the speaker. Yeah.
Okay. Speaker, she's here? Yes, she's here.
Yes, I'm here.
She's here. Learning speaker here? She is here?
Yes.
She's there. Learning Space Foundation. She's there.
I'll change my
Learning
name.
Space Foundation. She is the speaker. Yeah.
So, namaste everyone. Warm welcome to all of you.
Yes.
She's there. Learning Space Foundation. She's there. What's happening?
Learning Space Foundation.
Replaying my recording.
Yes, sir. I was just showing that it is live on YouTube as well.
Okay. Namaste everyone. I got confused. Warm welcome. Okay. Warm welcome to all of you. And a big thanks to our president and secretary and all the concerned who arranged such a topical subject for today's lecture. I mean, I in fact kept an alarm and saw to it that I don't miss this lecture. It is such an interesting topic. And so now without much ado, I request our president and Rotarian Chaitanya and Secretary Rotarian Mohit Patnaik to take the virtual stage and take up the proceedings. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Chaitanya, some difficulties. Are you able to hear?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mohit,
but very feeble.
yeah, very feeble voice, but yes.
I will increase my volume.
Um,
Is it better now?
Yes,
better.
decidedly better. Yeah.
We will start the meeting with the thought for the day.
1 second, Mohitji, we'll let us do the four-way test first, and then we'll go to the
Okay.
proceedings. So request everyone to read out the four-way test. The four-way test of the things
We think,
say or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all
concerned?
Build goodwill and better friendship? Should it be beneficial to all concerned? On that note, over to Rotarian Mohit.
Thank you, Chaitanya. Yeah, thought for the day is from Dr. R. Haima Rao.
No, Rotarian Srinivas will take up the thought for the day.
Oh, sorry. I think she said on the call, so I thought it's back to her name. Rotarian Srinivas.
It's within the family, so it doesn't matter.
Thank you.
Okay, short and sweet. Dreaming is our birthright. So dream big. Do big. Thank you.
Thank you, Rotarian Srinivas. Thank you so much. And so, Chaitanya, we have any other order of the day, or we will go with the introduction of the speaker?
Yeah, we can go for introduction of the speaker. That should be okay. Dr. Malik.
Yes. Dr. Malik, please, if you could introduce our speaker, please.
Yeah.
You're on mute, sir. I think you're
Sir,
trying.
no. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I thought you will be telling a little about yesterday's project, so that would be.
Yeah. I'll let me just brief on what we did yesterday. Where thanks to Rotarian Pravinender, we have identified a specially able school which is catering to specially able kids, both deaf and dumb, and the school is residential and semi-residential type in West Maritpalli. So basically, this lady runs this school, has been running this school. There are about between 50 to 60 students of different age groups. And when we first went there, the need was identified that the kids did not have proper benches, they did not have proper blackboard and visual aid, visual aid which would help them in learning. So we took it up as a project thanks to Rotary and Kamal and funds from his CSR funds from his company Cargoman. So this to bridge the need, we devised this project where yesterday we went to that place. We have given them the required benches, then the blackboards, as well as a TV with proper connectivity and all. So of course that was followed. We have sponsored for their lunch also for yesterday. So this was anyway, we are going to take it up as a long term under our umbrella of the project Jiva. Monthly, we are looking at basic minimum grocery commitment from our end. We're working on how much and how we can go about it. But yeah, this will be supporting. We will be supporting this particular facility in the yeah, so that's a brief. So yesterday, in fact, we had about 16, I think 16 Rotarians attending this event, and it was a really wonderful. And they, after that, they did a bit of a dance program, and then there was a sort of a mime thing on perils of using mobile phone. How mobile phone has come into our daily lives, and also, fantastic experience yesterday. The way they brought it out, really, really moving actually. So that was brief of what we did yesterday, and yeah, we'll have one more speaker session next week. We are planning. Yeah, so Mohit is sharing the pics. You all can see. It was really heartwarming seeing the kids and all. That's the TV in the background. If you can see, that's the TV that we gave them. So yeah, in the long term, like I said, we are going to support them with the groceries for their some basic requirements of groceries for the school. The long term. This is another blackboard. These are the benches that we gave them. So we made the kids themselves to inaugurate actually. So they have that, so that they feel that sense of ownership and also. Yeah, we spent about 3 hours, 3.5 hours at that place overall, each of us. It's a nice experience. One of their other classrooms, and you see the blackboard behind. That's the one we donated, and there's a bench also on which Kamalji and Prakashji are sitting.
అస్సలు వద్దు అయ్యో దాని గురించి నాకు
It's one of the dance performances by the kid. we had 2 dance performances. I mean, always amazing how they actually, it's all visual because what they hear is very less. So it was like mimicking the actual video of the song and then having dancing exactly to the tune is fantastic.
Please let me know if I'm going very fast.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, this was the cell phone thing, perils of the cell phone. I mean, it's a wonderfully enacted one. This guy, um, how everybody gets phone calls. In fact, even when they show that they meet with an accident when while talking on phone and going on the vehicle, they meet with the accident. This guy is picked up by the ambulance, and the ambulance driver is also again he's talking on the phone. And then he is being taken to the to the burial ground, and the pallbearers, whoever are carrying him, they are also again they have a phone, so they put this guy down and then they talk on their phone and then they go out. I mean, the way they enacted the whole thing was really, that situation there was really very nice one. So yeah, like, so this is what we've done. The good thing, and yeah, I know, I'm sure our members, everyone know we have DG visit coming up next month. Also, yeah, if you see that is that's a surgery being done by the doctors. So that's where the doctor also has a phone in the, and during the surgery, he forgets and puts the phone inside and stitches up. Then he realizes after that there's some, I mean, he gets a call, then he realizes he leaves it inside. They cut it open up, get it up open again, and then they take it out. So, I mean, yeah, so these are some of the groceries that we gave away yesterday. So yeah, yeah. I mean, one of the most satisfying projects actually that we have taken up in recent times. Really very satisfactory. Yeah, on that note, I think we'll go ahead. We'll proceed with our topic for the day, and Dr. Ballik, request you to please introduce our speaker for today.
Yeah, yeah. Hi, there's some, I think, issue with my video. It's not getting on. Am I audible? Ah, yeah. Am I audible, Chaitanya?
Yeah, you're audible and visible also.
Yeah, thank you. It was really beautiful project yesterday. I think I really missed it. It was really the picture showing how much the people enjoyed your presence there, and in all the face I can see that happiness and satisfaction. I can see that's really very awesome. And I welcome Kaumudi ji today. She is from Learning Space Foundation. If I start reading her profile, it goes on, goes on. But to be very brief, I just highlight very few points. I have been, she's been our friend for quite some time. We know her personally. And she has worked in abroad for more than 20 years at various MNCs. And again, she came back to India with a passion, and her passion is to have a safer and a beautiful world around us. And she's striving for that since the time she came back to India. And currently with her team, she started a Learning Space Foundation, which exclusively works for child safety and sexual abuse. So today morning, we had an opportunity to meet her again. We had a small function wherein the pledge for child safety was taken, and Shekhar Kamarji also attended the program. It was a grand success. And Kamarji, I don't want to talk too much about you. Please speak or give introduction about yourself, what the work you are doing. But I may fall short of words, but I was describing your work. And she also been Margadarshak with Security Council of Rajkonda and many. Kamalji, it's up to you. I'm handing over to you, mic to you.
Thank you very much, Malik Garu, for such a kind introduction. And it's not really, I don't really feel I'm doing big things and all. I mean, I've seen the work that Rotary has been doing, and really, really very, very inspiring. And thank you for doing all such a wonderful job. To talk about me, I mean, more than me, I would like to talk about what we do basically. And why I'm here. So that is, I think that is more important now. So today is Children's Day, as you know, and there is something called Child Safety Week, which everybody celebrates. I mean, past 3 years, we have been celebrating. All the NGOs that work with children, work for children, have been celebrating Child Safety Week, and it starts today for a week. So especially Learning Space Foundation works for prevention of child sexual abuse. So that is why I'm here to talk about a very, very important event that we launched today, and we seek all your support. So with this, I would like to start about, why we started and why whatever we are doing. So if many of you may be knowing, right, 1 in 2 children in India experiences some form of child sexual abuse, and 1 in 5 children faces severe child sexual abuse. And according to latest report of National Crime Records Bureau, 96% of the abusers are known to the children. That means they could be family members, they could be neighbors, teachers, tuition teachers, coaches, or friends, even friends, family members, as in immediate family or extended family members. So most of the times it is being done, this particular crime is being committed by people who we and our children trust. So that is the trickiest and most difficult aspect of child sexual abuse. So we usually teach our children about stranger danger. We are all very, very good about it. We talk about not taking chocolates from strangers, not taking gifts from strangers. But do we ever teach about personal safety? Because personal safety rules can be broken by the people who we know, we respect, we regard them a lot, and they are not like villains that usually movies showcase. They are the people among us. They look like us, they behave like us, they talk like us, even better than us, and they are in very, very respected positions. We respect them a lot, and there can be abusers in all of us. So with that, if what happens if this particular problem, is not being taken care of, because I have seen a few cases where I know a girl, she's about to be a doctor soon in a couple of years. She's studying in a very prestigious institution. She's pursuing her medicine, but she underwent sexual abuse when she was 12 years old by her tuition teacher, also from her cousin, older cousin. So here what happened is much more devastating. When she talked about this, when she expressed this thing with her parents, you know what they asked her? They said, it's okay, you just forgive and forget. After some time, you'll forget about it. But now she is 20 years old and she couldn't forget about whatever has happened. And for the past few years, she has been undergoing therapy because she is into severe depression. So this is what can happen to anybody. I know many parents, they ask children, even now her parents ask her, it's been so many years, why can't you forget? But please remember, it is not something that people can forget. It's not like you fell down, you broke your leg, you broke your knee, you broke your hand. And then after some time, you go for medicines, you take medicines, you have that putty around your a knee or a hand. And after some time, after some physiotherapy, you become normal. This is not such a simple problem. And for this problem, even that much support is not there from family. So that is the hardest and more devastating fact. At least for knee or hand, if there is any injury, we immediately take them to the doctors. But if there is any, such kind of a problem, there is a lot of stigma around it. We don't even give the support needed for the children. So this is one case I shared with you. But there are so many children out there who have been facing this particular problem. They don't tell us. And if it is not healed on time, it can leave lifelong scars on the minor's life. It can affect their physical, mental, and emotional well-being, and family and intimate relationships, faith, education, and even career. Victims and survivors can also be 2 to 4 times more likely to become victims of sexual, physical, and emotional abuse again in their lifetime. So that is the severity of this problem. So that is the reason we have been going to the government schools since actually being an engineer. I started working with, and I come from a very small village. I studied in Telugu medium schools, and then purely because of my education, I could work in US and I could really settle down very well in my life. So with that thought, I started Learning Space Foundation. That is why the name also, right? Learning Space Foundation. I thought of creating a learning space for children where they can pursue STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. So that is how we started. So I thought, when Kaumudi can become something because of her education, why not other children? So that is the thought which drove me to start this NGO. So I left my job and then I just started working on different projects for underprivileged children in the government schools. So when I was working in such a project, I heard about an incident where a girl is being molested by her grandfather, paternal grandfather. It really moved me, and I remember even now how many sleepless nights I spent after hearing this incident. And they asked us for help, and I didn't know how to help her. I just I gave phone numbers of police, and I encouraged them to go to the police and then file a complaint. But it haunted me. Seriously, it haunted me for some time. That particular incident. Now every day I hear so many things which have been haunting me, but now I'm balancing myself, and every day I break down when I hear certain incidents, and then I gather myself and gather my courage and keep on doing whatever I'm doing. So with that incident, I understood. We know education, food, health, these are all basic needs. But safety is also a basic need. But there is no enough focus on this particular aspect. But this is actually this is spoiling a lot of this thing, the fabric, social fabric. So entire, we don't know how it is happening. We don't even talk about it. We don't know how many children are being abused. We don't know if my child is being abused. Right? I'm not creating that space for my child to come and talk to me and do something about it. So this undercurrent issue. It is spreading so fast and leading a lot of mental health issues for the children, even after they become adults. So I know many adults are also facing mental health issues because of the abuse that they have been through when they were children. So with this thought, I did some research. I understood how many NGOs are working and how many children are being actually trained and what needs to be done and stuff. I did my little research and I changed my direction from education and health to prevention of child sexual abuse. It is not that we don't work in other fields, we also do, but prevention of child sexual abuse has become our major focus area after hearing these incidents. So you might have heard about or read about a few incidents that happened in the recent past as well. So, but this is only tip of the iceberg. What we see in the newspapers is tip of the iceberg. So many cases, they don't get reported. Just think about this situation. If your child comes to you and tells you somebody molested her, do you go and report immediately? We don't. So many cases are like that. They're not reported. And here, when I'm talking about sexual abuse, please don't think that only rape is a child sexual abuse. It involves many other forms. Child sexual abuse comes in many other forms. So there are contact abuses, there are non-contact abuses. Contact abuse, obviously, rape is a contact abuse. Also, fondling private body parts, genital areas, and areas surrounding genital areas is also sexual abuse, contact form of sexual abuse. And abusers might ask children to touch their private body parts. That is also contact form of child sexual abuse. Also, watching a kid's private body parts or asking a kid to watch their or somebody else's private body parts either directly or through social media or photos or videos is also child sexual abuse. Not just that. Talking about private body parts or any sexual content is also child sexual abuse. But we all don't know about all these forms of sexual abuse. So it can happen through contact or through no contact as well. Talking, watching is all non-contact sexual abuse. So all these come under child sexual abuse. But as I said, there is a lot of stigma and taboo around this topic. We don't want to talk about it. There is a huge silence and stigma about this, which is giving a lot of courage for the abusers to do whatever they are doing and to commit such heinous crimes. So I would like to share one interesting and devastating piece of information, again from National Crime Records Bureau. This was done in 2018, right? So in Telangana itself, 1180 children were sexually abused in 2019, 1180, and out of them, 1177 in 1177 cases, offenders were known to the victim. That means only 3 people were strangers. 3 abusers were strangers. Rest all of them were known to the children. And from these 1177 cases, 664 cases were friends, 163 were family members, while 350 were family, friends, neighbors, and other known persons. Right? So this is such a devastating piece of information. So which we really need to understand. And we might sometimes think that, my child, I have a very good relationship and communication with my child. Whatever happens in their life, I know. And they come and tell me whatever happens. But please remember, if they fall, if there is any physical injury or if there is any fight with their friends, they might come and talk to you. But in most of the cases about child sexual abuse, they won't really open their mouth because the abusers, they maintain control. They groom the children so well they give, actually there are two ways that, in the way child sexual abuse happens. Obvious thing is basically, threatening the child, saying that they will cause harm to the child, or close people to the child, her family, her or his family members, are the people the child likes. So because of that fear, they just keep quiet. That is one way. And there is another way, which is very, very strategic, which we have to be really, really careful about, which is called grooming. So in these cases, the children who are vulnerable, there are a few children who are more vulnerable. For example, broken homes, broken households, and there is no support for the child at home. There is no love. There is no whatever the necessities the child has, the physical necessities, the emotional necessities. If they're not being met at home, those children, if an abuser knows a child is going through this, this particular child becomes an easy target to the abuser, right? So there are so many such points that abusers look for in the children, and then they groom that child. They know, basically they study the child, they study the child's household, the atmosphere, the child, and what the child is going through. For example, if a child is a little fat, is a little healthy, and then everybody calls him fat, already stigmatized. The child is stigmatized. A child is not getting good marks in a subject, and everybody is actually stigmatizing the child, and the child is actually feeling so low and less confident. And if an abuser knows, and this particular child becomes their target, so they understand the child's situation, and they try to meet those particular needs, and they try to fill those gaps. That is how the child starts trusting that particular person, and starts depending on that particular person for all their needs, because they are actually taking care of their needs. That is how it starts. This is called grooming. And then it all starts normally, very, very strategic, It all child needs, and they take their own time, they meet everything. Sometimes they groom the family also, child's family as well. Even, for example, if they're trying to target my child, they will groom my child as well as me. And I also start trusting them. I know, she's very nice person, he's very nice person, he or she is taking, please mention he or she. Many cases, I know some parents come and tell me, that is, I know males are abusers. So that is why my tuition teacher is a female. I'm sending my daughter to a female tuition teacher. I'm sending my son to a female tuition teacher. But there are umpteen number of cases where abusers are female as well. So the abuser, right, she or he is trying to groom my child as well as me and my husband, my entire family. All of us, we start trusting the abuser, and then we leave our child. We think that our child is safe with the abuser, and we leave them. And even if the child comes, senses something and comes and tells me something like, auntie is behaving in a different way, weird way, I'm not liking it. I say, no, you are thinking wrongly. Why are you saying this? Auntie is such a nice person. Uncle is such a nice person, so respected. He so takes care of you so well. He teaches you math without expecting anything. He's not your tuition teacher. Still, he's spending some time with you, teaching you math, teaching you science. You're getting good marks because of him. We say this and we just keep, we ask our children to keep quiet. But what is happening is, we are groomed. I am groomed so well by the abuser. And as an adult, I'm not able to understand the tricky behavior. How can a child anticipate a person whom they trust so well can commit such crimes, right? That is how grooming happens. So most of the cases, our neighbors, our family members, they offer something to the children, and then they they cheat them. And this is how this thing happens. So now is the theme that the Child Safety Week is going forward. Now is the time. So now is the time we really need to do something, right? We need to understand. Now is the time we need to understand the problem is such severe, and many children are being abused by abusers. Now is the time we understand. We need to come forward, educate ourselves, and educate our children about personal safety, And now is the time we, as society, we all should come together to eradicate this problem. Why I'm saying this is, as parents, for example, as parents or grandparents, we teach our children about road safety, right? And fire safety and water safety. If we go to a beach, we tell them, no, this will happen. And we nicely explain to the children. But do we ever explain about personal safety? Do we ever explain about private body parts? And do we ever explain about personal safety rule to the children? Right? We don't. And in our culture, Indian culture, we have this one important aspect. We have to obey elders. We have to obey elders. We teach them, we teach our children this. I'm not saying that this is wrong. We have to obey elders. Along with this, we have to teach children that these are your private body parts and this is your personal safety rule. And whoever may be the other person, they don't have any right to touch your private body parts, look at your private body parts and talk about your private body parts, or ask you to touch or look at them. Unless they are trying to keep you healthy or they are trying to keep you clean. So we have to explain them through different examples. For example, you have a 1.5-year-old brother or a sister, and you have your mom is cleaning, taking off their diaper, right? And giving them bath. So during those times, you fell down and you broke your hand and you cannot help yourself. You cannot take bath. So your mom or dad has to help you. That case, it is allowed. Or you have any problem in your genital area, itchy or burning sensation, then you have to go to a doctor. So your adult, your mother, father, or any of your caring adult has to be there when doctor is examining, right? So doctor is here, he's trying to help you to keep you healthy. So unless somebody is trying to keep you clean or healthy, nobody has any business with your private body parts. So are we teaching this? So when we teach this, and then we need to teach our children that when anybody is trying to break your personal safety rule, you can say no. You can say no assertively and get away from there. So we have to teach our children that there won't be any repercussions after saying no, right? So, and then we should teach this, and then we should also respect what our children do. For example, when I teach my child about this, and tomorrow a close relative comes home, and I know he may be very good, he or she may be very good, and I know he or she is very good. And then out of love and affection, that particular person, they want to grab my son and they want to make them, sit in their lap. They are doing it purely out of love. They're not going to abuse my child. Okay. Even in that situation, my child doesn't want to do this, doesn't want to sit in their lap. My child wants to maintain some distance. Then if I go and tell my child, yesterday I taught my child about personal safety rule and saying no, all that stuff. But today, in front of that other person, I said, why are you doing this with this uncle? He's such a nice person. Go and sit in his lap. Don't say no. When I do this, there is a conflict. I'm confusing my child. So when I teach personal safety to my child, I need to respect the boundaries that they set for themselves. So we are teaching the children to set boundaries for themselves, and we need to respect those boundaries. And every child, as like every adult, every child is different. For example, if 10 people, if we are all meeting in future, if we are all meeting, right? Some people, they like to sit very closely. They want that touch with other people. I love that too, with some people. Some people, they sit, they need at least 1 feet distance around them. It is not that they don't like people. They like people, but they keep that distance. And another person, half a feet distance. Some people 2-3 feet distance. Everybody is different. In the same way, children are also different. So every child has their own boundaries. So we compare. See, your sister is behaving nicely, properly. Why are you doing this? He is doing this. He or she is doing this because he or she is different from the sister. Sister is different and this is different. Every child is different, like every other. So we have to respect the personal boundaries that they set for themselves. This is how we are demonstrating to the children that we respect their boundaries And it is adults' responsibility to respect the boundaries the children set for themselves. And there won't be any fear of repercussions. And if they say no, we have to respect that, and we should respect that. This is how we are giving that confidence to our children that no matter what, if a child says no, the other person should respect. And there they will be given that much respect to right to the boundaries. This is how we are demonstrating to the children that they have right on their bodies. They only have right on their bodies, and they can dictate terms around their bodies. So this is what, as adults, we have to do, and we have to teach our children. And if we don't have enough knowledge and tools about this particular issue, we need to research. We learn a lot. We are continuous learners, at least our generation, because now times are changing, and so much of technology and so much of the generation gap was there all the time. When our parents raised us, there was generation gap, and now when we are raising our children, there is a generation gap. But that generation gap is much more different from the generation gap. But we are trying to make ourselves up to date with the current generation. So we are so good at learning, especially our generation is so good at learning, right? So we have to learn this particular aspect as well. How to basically we have to get all that knowledge, and we need to know how to teach our children and start teaching children and demonstrate that we understand this and we respect the children and their bodies. So this is important that as we all have to do. And it is not just about our children. Another thing I want to mention here, because if my child, I'm teaching my child, good. But when my child is not, not staying in the four walls of my home, my child is going out, learning a lot. And this learning happens in the social setting, in the schools, right? If another child is undergoing child sexual abuse, and my child comes to know about it, that will have an impact on my child as well. Please remember this. So we need to understand that it is not just about our children, it is about all the children, because we may think our children are our property, but frankly speaking, our children are not our property. As a matter of fact, they are not anybody's property. They are the assets of our nation, right? So, and all the children have every right to be safe. They have every right to develop, freely without fear, right? So that is their right, and we all have to take care of all the children of our country if we want our future generations to be intact, respecting each other. There is no crime, and best future, best world for everybody. Then our children need to be taken care of so well in all the aspects, not just about, we might think we are sending them to good schools, we are giving them good phones, we are giving them good clothes, all the necessities we are taking care of. But please, we have to question ourselves. Are we really taking care of all their needs? Are we taking care of their emotional needs? Are we there for them when they want to talk to us? There for them in the sense, not with my phone, not with my laptop. Am I maintaining that eye contact with my child and talking to him or her, or the transgender, if my child is a transgender, and however they identify themselves? Am I there with them and listening to them with my heart and mind, and without judgment? And am I there for them in empowering them to solve their problems, not putting too much of my brain into it, but empowering my child to solve their problems? And if they can't solve their problems, I'm always there for them. They can fall back on me. I'm there again to mentor them, to support them, to coach them, right? This is the question that we have to pose to ourselves. And am I talking to my friends? I know about child sexual abuse, but am I starting this conversation with my friends? Because my friends have children too, and they need to be safe as well. My friend might not know about it. It is my responsibility to talk about it with my friends, with my families, right? Am I doing this? So it is a collective responsibility. So that is what we are trying to bring with this year's Child Safety Week. So this is a collective responsibility. So we came up with a safety pledge campaign. So I can share the webpage link for this. And I request, we have done this with in 8 different languages for now. And if we get more support, we will include more and more languages, and we will include a lot more resources as well. We just started, and then we have included minute information in the website so that people can read and understand and feel the necessity to take action now, right? So please go to the web page and choose a language that you're comfortable with, and then fill basic details, and there is a pledge that you need to take. So this pledge is very, very simple, right? What we are saying is, I'll do whatever I can for the safety of the children, and I will talk to the schools nearby and any other childcare institution or any institution that works with children, right, about child safety policies. I'll talk to my friends and family members and other people about personal safety of children, and I'll also encourage 10 other people, they can be friends or family members, to take this pledge. It is such a simple pledge, but we need to be committed to that. So start this conversation. So we can only, as an NGO, we can only push the button, right? So we can only do so much. We can only create awareness, but this has to become a household conversation. Like you teach about road safety, please teach about personal safety, right? And talk to your friends about personal safety and ask them to take this pledge. We also gave some resources here, how to talk to your teenager, and what are the warning signs of child sexual abuse that you can basically look into, and then how grooming happens. Like there are a couple of documents, right? Please go through them and help yourself, and we are going to include more and more in the near future. So educate yourself, and please start this conversation. If you haven't started this conversation, now is the time to start this conversation with your children, with your friends, and all the adults that you know, right? So this is what my appeal is, and this is why I'm here today. And I'm going to make all the spaces wherever I'm going to basically go. And that I've been doing it, since I started this, working on child safety. So wherever I go, even for the functions, anywhere, right? When there are children, I take permission from their parents that I'm going to talk about personal safety with these few children. I take their permission. I ask one adult to accompany me because it is always safe. And then I talk about few things, very, very simple things. Personal safety rule, private body parts. Personal safety rule means nobody should touch, look at, talk about, right? And if somebody does that, somebody breaks personal safety rule, what you should do? Say no assertively, and then get away from there and tell a trusted adult. Tell a trusted adult. That is again another trickiest part. Most of the times we don't know who that trusted adult is, because most of the times the adults, they don't give that support to the children, right? So try to be the trusted adult for your child and the children around you, right? So please do this wherever you go, right? Whenever you see children, whenever you meet your friends, you might be talking about many things. You might talk about politics, world politics, Indian politics, religion, are a lot of problems, a lot of, good things. Please do all that. Enjoy your life, because I do too. But please remember to talk about personal safety of children, right? So, and I request you all to go to the pledge page and take this pledge, and please circulate, please spread the word, amplify it, share it with all your networks and encourage them to take this pledge. So we have actually a few celebrities, we are trying to rope in, because they are the ones who can really help us reach to many more people. So R.P. Patnaik garu, and then Srinivas Avasrala garu, these people are very, very famous in Telugu film industry. So we are trying to rope in them, because as soon as we asked them, they willingly they come forward, and then they started supporting us. So this is my request. Please take this pledge and amplify it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. I just have one question.
Please.
And then I'll leave the floor open for others also to ask any questions if they have.
Yes.
I'll initiate this question. The thing is, see, I also have two young boys, a 10-year-old and a 5-year-old. What is it in terms of their behavioral changes that we have to observe? They may or may not come forward with if they are going through something. So, what is it in their behaviors that we have to observe in order to initiate this discussion with them?
Yes. Beautiful question, Chaitanya Garu. So, because this is very, very important. Most of the times they don't come and tell us. So, there are basically behavioral changes, there are emotional changes, there are physical changes also. So, physical are very, very easy to figure out. There are any bruises in genital areas or any kind of, discharge, in the genital areas, penis or vaginas, right? We have to look out for those. That is one thing. Physical is very, very simple. And lips also, if there are any marks, right? And then behavioral and emotional. If you see any sudden changes, for example, they've been studying so well, suddenly their performance has been very poor. It could be studies or it could be sports or any kind of an activity. Their performance has changed tremendously. Or they became too aggressive, or they became too right, they don't want to mingle with anybody. They just want to spend time with themselves. And they don't want to go to one particular person or one particular house or school. For example, if the abuser is there, right? Or in general, it may not be only with the abuser. Sometimes what happens is they lose trust on all the adults. They don't want to go to anybody, right? They can be very aggressive or they can be complete. And some children, they show overly sexualized behaviors. For example, we heard about an incident, a child is playing with a toy, with a doll, right? And with that doll, they demonstrated some sexual behavior. So where did that child get that knowledge? So that is one sign we have to. And children showing sexualized behavior with other children. I know, one school counselor, they shared it. One child, they wanted to see the other child naked. That particular boy, LKG boy, asked another girl. There could be curiosity. What I'm saying is, please take it with a pinch of salt. As human beings, we're all curious. Children are all the more curious. They want to see. They might have seen somewhere and they want to see why boys' genital area looks different from girls' genital area, and they want to research on that. It could be purely that reason as well, right? What I'm saying is, and aggressive behavior, they don't want to talk to anybody. This could be because of pubertal changes as well. There could be many trigger points. There could be many, many trigger points, right? What I'm saying here is, there could be many trigger points, for example, 5. There could be one among them could be sexual abuse that they're going through. It could be other points as well, but let us not rule out this and think that only these 4 are there. It could be pubertal change. It could be, they have problem with friends, or it's a broken family, parents are going divorce. They all could be the reasons, but there could be this reason as well. Let us not rule it out before understanding. What I'm saying is, this could be because of many other things, but this is this. And if you get any doubt, there is nothing wrong in directly asking. Or what we can do is, we watch movies and we hear incidents, or you can simply start conversation. You can simply start conversation about, I heard about this particular incident, and then, do you know about private body parts? Very, very simple and straightforward. What we go, even with stranger kids, I do it. I ask them, what are your body parts? Do you know your names of your body parts? They talk about all the body parts, but not private body parts. So I tell them, do you know there are private body parts? Okay, tell me what they are. And do you know there is a rule around it? Personal safety rule? Do you know that? Okay, I tell them. And do you know there are some people who break that personal safety rule? When we start that conversation, it becomes easy for our children to share. Right? Because otherwise they don't know that there is a lot of ice in this particular area. There is a lot of ice between us and our children. When we break that ice, we are creating that environment for our children to approach us. Immediately, they may not be able to tell you. They still have a lot of apprehensions in their minds. But when we continuously, regularly subtly talk about this with our children, one day they might come to us and open up. And immediately, another important thing, if any child is coming to you and talking to you, the one thing or two things that you have to tell immediately is, thank you, because you came and told me. It needs a lot of courage, I know. Thank you for sharing it with me. And whatever has happened, it is not at all your fault. These two things we need to tell our children. It is not at all your fault. And thank you for saying this with me. And I'll try my best to help you. And please help them. So does it answer your question, Chaitanya Garu? To an extent?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. So I request others, if you have, please, Devin Desai Garu, please.
Madam, wonderful lecture, really very educative. I must congratulate you. I have two questions actually. One is long ago I had read a book, Two Women. Now there, one of the girl, the daughter, it's a wartime novel. So she gets raped. But then actually, as a consequence of that, she becomes promiscuous. That girl, much to the consternation of her mother, she starts herself flirting with the truck drivers and others. That is one thing. And my second question is, this is what's called something like the Stockholm syndrome, what they call for kidnappers. And second, where they fall in love with the kidnappers themselves. And
yes, quite possible.
My second question is, do abused children sometimes become abusers themselves because of this?
Yes. So, yes, sir. Thank you very much for bringing these points. So when a child is abused, right, they might become overly sexualized. They might have multiple partners when they grow up, right? Or they might get aversion when they don't want sex at all in their life. Two extremes can happen, right? So multiple sexual partners, they want to flirt with many people at the same time. And flirting with the abuser, we have to understand the psychology here. So what that abuser has done to the child, what the child was needing at that particular moment, how those needs were met by the abuser. We are looking at the abuser as a kidnapper, as a molester. But we have to look at from the child's point of view. Child is not looking at them as a molester, right? So that is one thing. And then, yes, some children who were abused as basically, when they were children, not all of them, please, that is, we have to take it, very cautiously, because not all the children who were abused will become predators, will become perpetrators. A small percentage of them, they become perpetrators when they grow up. There is a chance. And there is another thing. There is this thing called pedophilia. It's a state. Pedophilia. So the people who are sexually attracted to the children are called pedophiles. So please be careful. Not just to you, sir. I'm telling everybody. They are attracted to the children sexually. They are pedophiles. But not all pedophiles are abusers. Some pedophiles, I know, they go to the counselor, they sit in front of the counselor, say that I am getting these kind of thoughts about children, please help me. Right? So, and they don't want to become abusers. So they are getting actually that therapy and they're trying to make themselves better, But some pedophiles are committing crimes. So this is one, pedophilia is one problem. There are some people who are opportunistic with this. They are attracted to the adults as well, and they commit crimes on the children as well, because they see an opportunity with children. Children are easy targets, and they won't tell anybody, and it's very, very easy. And you can make them, silent very easily. And there are umpteen chances, opportunities are also very, you get a lot of opportunities with children. So, yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
But any particular indication which tells you whether abused person is going to become an abuser, or any indication like that?
We can't really say. That is why what we say is, if a child has been sexually abused, we know we have to immediately give them the needed support in all the terms. If it is, physical help is required, we need to, a child is being raped, basically we need to immediately take them to the doctor. But most of the times what happens is we just don't do anything, even if we know a child is abused. We just keep quiet, right? So we don't know what is happening in the child's mind. So we have to take them to the psychologist. So they will be able to tell us what is really happening in their minds, right? So we don't have any, we can't really tell the signs. We can't really tell. So we have to see how they are behaving with other children. When they become adults, we have to see how they are behaving with the children. And
thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
And we cannot basically think, we cannot doubt everybody also that way, because as a child, I was actually in a way, there was a non-contact abuse, and there was, when I went to my friend's place, right, calling her name, her father, who was my grandfather's age, he touched me inappropriately, right? So it really horrified me. So I'm a child sexual abuse survivor, but I did not become an abuser, right? But right. So, but that is there in my mind, and whenever I see that aged person with a girl of my, my age that time, 10 years, right? My ears
Right.
and
Right.
one ear and one eye will be there with them. What is happening? What is happening with this child? I keep an eye, right?
True.
So yeah, because I have this lived experience, I took this mission. It can be any way, right? So very few, less percentage become abusers.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, Sarojini ma'am, please. Ma'am, you're on mute. You're talking on mute, Sarojini.
Unmute yourself, madam. Unmute yourself.
Let me do that. I'll unmute.
Mute, okay.
Yeah.
Can it? Are you able to hear me better?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good evening, madam. It was a very wonderful talk. I really enjoyed it. Madam, being a gynecologist for the last 50 years, I have got an experience that the women who come to us for gynec problems, I'm surprised they don't even touch their private parts in their lifetime. They themselves. So these are the women who they don't allow the female children to talk about the menses. Menstrual problems are so many. We have been going on to the schools and teaching them about children, but I always think it has to be done for the adults.
Yes.
So when they know themselves, the mother knows to talk to the child freely about what is periods. And another, I have been an infertility specialist for more than 20 years. I am having a experience that the couple doesn't know how to do intercourse. Normal vaginal opening, the husband doesn't know. We never tell the husband nor the wife. We just throw them in one of the rooms, and hymen is intact, and they come for us, to us, saying that we don't have children. Then we need to ask them, how do you do intercourse? And they don't answer. These are the very practical things in India. One has to openly talk in the family. The father and mother, and girl and boy child. The boy child also will suffer. They don't know anything, just married, having photographs, that is the end of it. They never tell them what is the physiology of everything. So these are practical things in India. If they understand, then they will understand your lecture.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah,
Telling you about the educated couple.
Yeah.
I had one couple who are the lecturers in their lifetime. They both came for the infertility problem, And when I exam, I'm surprised the hymen is intact. How does it possible? After 6-7 years of married life. So they never talk outside, not even with the mother. They talk to their friends, probably half knowledge. They don't know.
Yeah.
So this shyness, and at least anatomically, the lady should know what are all her problems, what are her organs. In breast cancer awareness programs I have been doing for a long time, they feel shy to keep their hand on their breast. So this is the thing. I'll try to tell them always, the couple, make them sit down and tell me, do you intercourse? Everything. From A to Z, I have to talk. They'll never open their mouth. Whether they will do it or not, I will not know. So these are the practical things, but your lecture has been very, very nice. Nicely formulated, and it is useful for the couples. My request is all the couples should talk with each other as well as with the children. And only the problem will be solved. Thank you very much for your good input.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Chaitanya ji, I am trying to rope in Kaumudi ji into Rotary Club, or at least inner wheel. I don't want her, don't want to leave her.
No, I was just about to say actually that, ma'am, I'll be in touch with you. Sorry, I'm getting
You met her in our cancer awareness walk, Chaitanya.
Yeah, I think I saw her. I'll get in touch with you, ma'am. We want to do many more programs.
Sure, sure. Sure, Andy. Thank you so much.
I'll speak to you.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much. So, any more questions? Are we done?
I think if nobody else has questions, we can go for vote of the thanks and vote of.
No, we can ask her after she joins our club.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your inputs. And I would like to first for
Moinji, your voice is very low. Can you put your mic near yourself? And
is it better now? Better?
Much better, much better.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, thank you so much for your presentation and your inputs, and you shared all your life experiences and the interactions that you had. This is kind of a subject which generally people avoid to talk about, as you also said and mentioned. And this is very alarming and very important for all of us, because at our homes, relatives, friends, every walk of society, wherever our children are going, be it male, female, it is very important that we ensure that they are safe. And you have rightly put it. And more importantly, in your presentation, what you did, what I liked about Maximum is that you are providing us a solution how we have to be careful and thoughtful in ensuring that our children are safe. So that is the biggest takeaway that I noticed in your presentation. Thank you so much. Thank you for presentation. And as everybody said that we want you in our club, so our president Chaitanya will be in touch with you. And
sure.
We will have many more presentations from you and more interactions from you. And I hope we are able to contact in case you find something. Probably we all of us, we will circulate. This is also on YouTube. So we will circulate, and if anybody has any questions, or probably, God forbid, anybody is going through that kind of challenge, probably for counseling and all, we can reach out to you. So thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Anyone else would like to say any kind of comments on this? Thank you, Sarojini ma'am, for your inputs as well. That was very much educational.
Yeah.
Helped. Dr. Malik, thank you so much. Desai sir, your questions were very informative and would like to read the book that you wrote. I think you're on mute.
The book is Two Women. It also came out as a picture with Sophia Loren acting in it.
Oh, okay. So we'll definitely would like to read that. I would just also like to share the attendance. I think we had 12 Rotarians. Not all are present right now from our Rotary Club of Secunderabad West and 4 Rotarians from other clubs. Thank you so much for joining. And Chetana, any other agenda for this meeting?
No, nothing else. I think we are done. We can just rise for the national anthem. If nobody else has anything to add, we can close off with the national anthem.
Just a moment, I'll just play it out.
Yeah, I request everyone to rise for the national anthem.
अधिनायक जय हे
भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा
द्राविड उत्कल वंगा हिमाचल यमुना
गंगा
उच्चल
उज्जल
जलधि
जलधि
तरंगा
तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे
गाहे तव जय
जय
गाथा
गाथा
गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
जय हिंद
Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, Comedy garu. I'll be in touch with you. Hopefully we'll meet up soon. I want, like I said, I want to do this program for and many other places. We'll need your support for this.
Awesome. Yes, yes. Sure, Andy. I would love to. Would like to join. Yeah. Thank you.
And
We
yeah,
need everyone's support, actually. We need everyone's support because alone we can't do anything.
true, true. And actually, special thanks to Mallingaru for suggesting this. I don't know, I got a lot emotional today, but yeah.
And I thought today is a special day, and because Child's Safety Week starts today,
True. Yeah.
I thought it will be an ideal day to have her as a guest speaker. That's why I requested you. And thanks, Chaitanya, for responding very promptly.
No, I'm not connected to this specific cause, so it was an easy decision for me to make.
Chaitanya Garu, lots of love to you. I'm sending on your way. And we're all together in this.
Can I give a small input, Andy, just before we log out?
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
1 second, Andy. Chaitanya Garu, what is
Chaitanya,
Malik garu,
Amma,
Chaitanya
you
garu.
log out, Amma. Amma, you carry on, Amma. I think you have another
Chaitanya,
meeting
yeah.
to attend. You carry on, please. Huh? I
No,
will.
no, Chaitanya Garu. Chaitanya Garu. Chaitanya. If you want to say something, please say it. Or you can take my number from Malik Garu, right? We're all here in this together. Please remember that.
Yeah, please carry on, Amma. You have
Okay.
meeting.
Okay, Andy. Bye. Thank you very much.
Okay. Bye. Thank you.
No, today, Chaitanya, today we had launching of the online page from Shekhar Kamalgar. He got very emotional because love story movie revolves around the child sex abuse.
Correct.
Emotional. While he was talking, he became very emotional. Suddenly, I remember I recollected him looking at you.
No, I was actually, I thought of mentioning that, but somehow it missed out. We saw that movie and the striking thing, that movie was how he dealt with this subject very well.
And it's a very bold thing to have that he had done in this movie. Probably for the first time in Telugu industry, we've seen such a subject being touched upon. And the way he portrayed that, he brought it into the whole storyline, I thought was fantastic.
Sure, and thanks, Chaitanya. Thank you so much.
Cinema is that?
Love story,
Love
latest.
story. Love story. Okay. Latest one. Okay.
Yeah, okay, then we'll sign off for today. Thank you.
Thank you.